সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আপনাদের সবাইকে সিআইএ নিউজের পক্ষ থেকে স্বাগত জানাই।
Good afternoon. We welcome today the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina. Thank you, Madam Prime Minister, for including Colombia on your New York itinerary. I want to recognize the leadership and staff of Colombia's Institute for Research on Women, Gender, and Sexuality for helping to make today's forum possible. Thank you for the many important contributions that you, the Institute, and our community make to this international dialogue. There is much at stake in Bangladesh today. The presence of new economic opportunity, a growing role for women in society, and advances in public health are all reasons for optimism. Yet at the very same time, the nation faces considerable and daunting challenges. 1/3 of Bangladeshi population continues to live in poverty even after significant strides in economic development. The problem of dangerous working conditions is well known, and violent religious extremism continues to adversely affect the society and the world. Still, it has become increasingly clear that the principal challenge facing Bangladesh concerns its political culture. Even as many citizens embrace democracy, there is much work to be done to meet international standards of free and fair elections, to definitively reject government corruption, and to establish a civic culture fully committed to freedom of speech and expression. In this volatile environment, Prime Minister Hasina has helped to move her nation forward, with notable successes in the arenas of public health and education. Our own university community is contributing to these initiatives in important ways. For example, a team of Columbia researchers assembled by the Earth Institute has been working in Bangladesh for the past 15 years to mitigate the devastating health effects of widespread arsenic contamination in wells. I actually visited Bangladesh, love the country, and we visited the Public Health and Earth Institute work on the arsenic in the wells problem. Separately, seismologists at Colombia's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory are collaborating with American and Bangladeshi researchers to assess and minimize the threat of a major earthquake in the country. The speech to be delivered by the Prime Minister today is titled, "Girls Lead the Way." In recent years, Bangladesh has closed the gender gap in primary education, and now more girls attend school than boys. The prevalence of child marriage has been reduced, and over the past 2 decades, the country has lowered the incidence of maternal mortality by more than 2/3. There's a serious effort underway to reduce female illiteracy and to improve women's access to non-traditional jobs. These initiatives will be watched with great interest to learn if their impact on Bangladesh's future is as large and as positive as we hope. We look forward to hearing from the Prime Minister about the progress Bangladesh has made towards greater gender equality and about her hopes for the future of her country. Please join me in welcoming Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Prime Minister. Thank you. I'll be back up.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. President, faculty members and students, ladies and gentlemen, এবং আমার বাংলাদেশের যারা ছাত্রছাত্রী তাদের সবাইকে আমি শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি। A very good afternoon to you all. I convey my warmest greetings to everyone in the audience. It is indeed a privilege to speak in front of you today. I thank you, Mr. President, for inviting me to this hallowed seat of learning. I have chosen to speak on an issue which is close to my heart: women's and girls' empowerment. I wish to see our girls breaking all barriers and taking the lead in our nation building. This plays a crucial role in my vision for peace and development. My father, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Rahman, who led Bangladesh to independence in 1971, was an ardent champion of democracy, social justice, and secular values. Women's education and emancipation were central to his development ideals. It's primarily to his vision I owe my conviction in girls' education. Our world has done well in sending our children to school, with more girls than boys going to schools in places like Bangladesh. Yet, the progress is uneven, with conflict-ridden places lagging behind. Around 60 million children still remain outside schools. 75% of them are girls. We must have these children at the heart of our 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. We cannot afford to leave them behind. Distinguished audience, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Rahman, recognized education as a fundamental right in Bangladesh's constitution in 1972. He also formed an education commission for developing a universal and uniform education system. Unfortunately, on 15th August 1975, he was brutally assassinated along with 18 members of my family: my mother, my 3 brothers, younger one was only 10 years old, my uncle, newly wedded to sisters-in-law. Altogether, 18 members of my family was assassinated. You may think why I'm here. Actually, my sister and myself, we were abroad that time. I was in Germany, so we survived. Well, after this assassinated, what followed was a period of military rule, and usually military ruler, I don't know, it is our experience, they never want that people should educate it properly. So this military ruler, the education policy he was adopted, they discontinued with. They didn't continue that. I had therefore made it mission in my political career to bring education to the forefront of our national development policies. My government attaches the highest importance to education, educating our nation. For obvious reasons, we give some added attention to promoting girls' education and literacy. Our development pursuit on the international stage is also informed by this priority. During my first tenure in the office from 1996 to 2001, we firmly embedded the education-related MDGs into our national development strategy. To start at the basics, we introduced a nationwide total literacy movement. In 5 years, we doubled the national literacy rate to 65, from 45% to 65%. Unfortunately, in the next 7 years, when our party, Bangladesh Awami League, was outside office, there was no further increase in our national literacy rate. In fact, it went down. Likewise, we had also introduced an innovative non-formal education system targeting school dropouts in our rural areas. Sadly, that initiative was also closed down by the successive government. After returning to office in 2009, our government wasted no time to revitalizing the entire education sector. By 2010, we formulated the country's first forward-looking national education policy through broad-based consultations. It was supported by a national plan of action to ensure education for all. We made education completely free for girls up to the 12th grade. We have started reaping the dividends as we see more and more of our girls opting for education and employment instead of getting married at an early age. To complement their efforts, we have introduced a host of other measures for an enabling and safe environment in schools. On the first day of each school, we distribute free textbooks to every single student from pre-primary to secondary level. In 2015 alone, we distributed 326.35 million free textbooks to students across the country. This is perhaps the biggest such undertaking anywhere in the world. We have introduced midday meals in schools to enhance nutrition and productivity among our children. We provide stipend to insolvent students from primary through undergraduate level. In 2015, 13.4 million students have received such stipends, of which 75% are girls. We have taken a tough stand to make sure that our girls feel safe at and while going to schools. Bangladesh has already attained the MDG targets on gender parity in schools through considerable efforts. We shall not allow any adverse elements to make a dent in those gains. Distinguished audience, in broad terms, we are now shifting our focus from quantity to quality in education. We have updated curricula and introduced creative questioning system from primary through higher secondary level. This allows our students to move away from the traditional methods of learning and use their creative and analytical skills. In keeping with our vision to build a digital Bangladesh by 2021, we are investing in providing access to ICT to our students in rural and remote areas. In addition to setting up over 5,275 digital centers at the grassroots level, we are introducing multimedia classrooms and computer labs in secondary schools across the country. Madrasa education is also being upgraded with the introduction of science and technology teaching. Efforts are being made to expand vocational and technical education that we consider essential for our human capital formation. Our long-term goal is to give our young people the skills to turn them into truly global citizens. Our young men and women will be our front runners in turning Bangladesh into a middle-income country by 2021 and a developed country by 2041. I am confident that we shall be able to reach these goals. It is for no reason Bangladesh is often termed as a development surprise. In many parts of the world, girls continue to face difficulty in going to school safely. They often struggle to continue their education up to marriageable age and face resistance from certain vested groups. We want an end to this. It needs a whole of society approach to change certain traditional mindsets. I attended the first Girls' Summit 2014 in London. There, I stressed the need for realizing girls' right to education to combat different forms of discriminatory and harmful practices against them that are still prevalent in many societies. I pledge to end child marriage in our society by 2041. We have already taken some proactive measures to work towards that goal with firm resolve. The existing laws are being updated and a national action plan being prepared for time-bound implementation. In addition to access to education, we are giving much needed attention to matching our girls' skills with demands in the job market. We have taken initiatives to set up 6 technical educational institutions only for girls. We have established the first Asian university for women to groom future women leaders from our region. Well, for technical education institutions, yes, we set up 6 for girls, but for boys and girls, we have many technical institutions we have established it. So our boys should not think that what we are doing only for girls. No, for boys also we have. Our young girls receive collateral-free small loans to help them set up small and medium enterprises. Our female workforce is growing steadily every year, with women accounting for 90% of the workforce in the ready-made garment sector. Women's participation is also showing an upward trend in politics, civil service, judiciary, armed forces, and other technical professions. Bangladesh today is perhaps the only country in the world that has women as Prime Minister, Speaker in the Parliament, Leader of the Opposition, Deputy Leader of the House. We have 70 women in our 350-member National Parliament. Our women have shown that given the opportunity, they can defy all odds and excel in what they aspire to do. Our job in the government is to create a right opportunities for them to thrive and prosper in equality and dignity. Dear students, ladies and gentlemen, with the MDGs, we have done fairly well in fighting global poverty and hunger. Even then, 1.3 billion people live in poverty in our world. The new ambitious SDGs we have come here to adapt, already we have adopted the agenda, must make a real difference in the lives of these people. I am making efforts to do my part. I challenge you, the leaders of tomorrow, to rise to the occasion to change our world for the future we want for all. In so doing, I wish to leave this message with you that girls' education all over the world can be and should be a key enabler for sustainable development. Last year, the UNESCO Director General awarded me, not me actually, my country, the Tree of Peace in recognition of our efforts to promote girls' education and women's literacy. The interface between women's education and durable peace is only too evident in conflict-riven societies. My heart reaches out to all those girls that continue to struggle with their lives in far too many conflict situations around the world. We wish to see all our girls having unfettered access to the best possible education and emerging as the forebearers of peace, progress, and prosperity. In Bangladesh, may I reiterate, I wait to see the day when our girls take the lead in every sphere as we realize our dream of a Sonar Bangla, a golden Bengal, that our father of the nation had envisioned for us. We keep our doors open for all of you to join us in our effort. I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Prime Minister. We now can take questions from the audience. There are microphones that are being brought down each aisle, and I will call on you. Please make your questions brief, succinct, and please line up so that we'll have a group to call on. Let me begin by asking Madam Prime Minister a question. I mean, these are impressive things that you have documented, spoken to about increasing girls' education, very impressive, and of course much admired here. Can you say something about what you need to overcome in order to improve girls' education and how you have done it? If there are religious objections to girls' education, how have you confronted that? How have you addressed those concerns in order to increase the educational opportunities for girls?
Well, in our country, yes, you know, sometimes the religious barrier was there. But once, if you can pursue the parents, the girls, if they educated them, they can be a good help for the society, for family itself. And education is the only key for poverty reduction. Yes, sometimes it is not that it was very easy thing, but because our education from the very beginning, in 1972 Constitution, the education was free for, the primary education was free for everybody, But for girls up to secondary level, it was free. Because it was free, and also we ensured that there are some co-education institution or separate, so wherever the girls goes, for them we keep separate arrangement for everything so that the parents send them to the school. So it took time, but somehow now everybody thinks that yes, whether it's girl or boy, parents should send them to school and for education. And because we already distributing free books, providing stipend for the students,
Yes.
and also the poor family. If they send their children to the school, we give some monetary help to the mother.
That's
So that way we pursue them. Now, I can tell you that all over the country, even the rural area, our parents are very much eager to send their children to the school, whether it is girls or boys. Or maybe we are leading the country. As you know, for a long time, the Prime Minister, the women Prime Minister around the country for a long time, maybe that also inspired the parents. That is also one thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
And the religion barrier didn't affect much.
Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, please state your name and affiliation and ask your question.
I'm Shoiti Sravanti Haldar. I am a freshman in CES.
CES is the engineering.
CES is the
engineering applied science.
And it's my first month in New York. I'm from Bangladesh. So I have had the chance to witness this series of developments that you have mentioned in your speech. And I still think that the issue for a girl in achieving higher education and leading the way is not cost anymore. It's more of the safety. It's more of her safety. So I would speak in light of the incident that happened during Poila Boishakh at TSC and the fact that no tangible actions have been taken yet. Don't you think that is a big factor that a girl should consider when she actually analyzes her opportunity cost for attaining a higher education, because she would think that she's not safe?
Well, you know the festival, Poila Boishakh, the first day of Bengali, year. Only in Dhaka city, nearly more than 100 places, this ceremony was observed. But there was an embargo that before sunset they have to finish it. So when more than 100 places, only in Dhaka city, and not only Dhaka city, all over the country, people from all religion together observed this festival. So you could mention only one incident, but we have taken all the steps. Those who are involved, we try to find them out, and we try to, brought them into book. So can you imagine, the population is 160 million. The first year of a Bengali, calendar, everybody together, all religion people, everybody together observe this festival. So there's only one incident happened. But immediately our law enforcing agencies take action. But many incidents happen all over the world during 1st January or any other time. But we could have controlled the situation. But only one incident you are speaking. But immediately we have taken action. We are not sitting like this. But you know, it is our society, they become more aware about it, that they should behave properly.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Thank you to Columbia for giving us this opportunity. I want to thank you on behalf of all the Bangladeshi students. Madam Prime Minister, Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak. Thank you
Eid
for
Mubarak.
spending Eid with us. I just don't want to take too much time. I actually don't have a question. I would like to reiterate the importance of a key policy point that has been in discussion lately, which is the legal age for marriage. And I'm very glad that I've been following it, and I'm very glad that the legal age for marriage has not been lowered, because I think a lot of the things that you have been saying would totally go against lowering or decriminalizing the legal age of marriage. So thank you so much, and I hope that continues to be, because that is a very important thing for girls to succeed in Bangladesh. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. The more we give opportunity for girls, one thing, education and job opportunity, then you don't need to have any legal, framework or anything. Automatically, the age of marriage will, be increased. Because girls, if they start earning money or if they can stand by themselves, then they will decide when she will get married. Then parents cannot impose. So the economic freedom is very, very important. Education and economic freedom. We must ensure that for the girls.
So, Madam Prime Minister, as you can see, there's a huge number of people who want to ask questions. So what I propose is that we'll take 3 questions at a time, and then you can answer them as you wish, so that we'll get through more students. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Prime Minister. My name is Smita Sen. I am a senior in the college, and my question is also relating to the safety of young girls and women as they try to enter the education system. One of the largest problems facing young girls is that they aren't even given the chance to be born. Female infanticide is still a concern. And so I'm just wondering what sort of protections are being made to make sure that the birth of the girl child is still supported and protected.
Thank you very much. Please.
Good evening, Madam Prime Minister. Thank you for your wonderful speech. I'm a student at the School of International and Public Affairs. My question is more to do with what are the steps being taken to ensure that women, obviously you are a great example yourself, but what other steps are being taken to ensure that women are becoming leaders more in the private sector? And we have been talking a lot about education. So are there any special provisions to ensure more participation in higher and specialized technical education as well?
Thank you. And one more. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Good evening, Madam Prime Minister. My name is Ethan Park. I'm a freshman here at the college. So my question is, Bangladesh, as you just said, has 160 million people. So it's a very large country. And as a developing country, it has a massive potential for economic development. At the same time, it's one of the countries that might most profoundly be affected by climate change. So I'm curious how you can balance the priorities of economic growth as well as kind of thinking and keeping in mind carbon emissions, climate change, and perhaps the very pollution that's emitted in the process of creating economic growth.
Thank you. So we have female infanticide, women leaders in the private sector, and climate change. And
Okay.
good luck.
Thank you. Well, first thing, the women entrepreneurship, actually we offer, actually we made a special arrangement for women entrepreneur. From our SME Foundation, we give loan with a low rate interest and without collateral. The girls can take money and then they can start business. That opportunity is there. But for boys also, I mean for everybody we have a special offer. We have a special bank, job opportunity, creating job opportunity banks. So from there, boys, girls, everybody take some amount, limited amount, without collateral so that they can, establish their own business. And especially for girls from SME Foundation, they are getting this opportunity. And of course, we are encouraging them that they should come up with their plan, program, and they do it. And for rural women, we have established, we call it Joita. That's rural women, their own production, they can sell. We have given them a space. There they open shops and they do their own business. And they sell their own, production, like handicrafts or other food item or everything. So that opportunity, our ministry, the Women and Children Affairs Ministry, they're looking after this project and they are doing it. So that way we are giving them so that they can, economically, they can stand by themselves. And about climate change, I can tell you one thing, that yes, the geographical situation, Bangladesh is such a place that we are not emitters, but because of emission, we are affected. It is not only Bangladesh, the small island countries, then Himalayan countries, all are affected. But Bangladesh, we raise this issue time and again. We receive many promises, but in practical, we haven't received much, assistance. But Bangladesh never sit idle. Already we have, through our budget, we have our own fund, and we have adopted many programs to how to face this problem. And already we have taken action plan, and about 136 action plan we prepared to face this, any kind of natural calamities or global warming or anything comes forward, we are prepared to face it. We have started by ourselves. That is an example. But we are not sitting for who will help us, who will assist us. Yes, whatever money or whatever resources we have started our, program to mitigate all this climate change problem that I can tell you. Bangladesh always try to do it themselves. We don't want to depend on others. Thank you. But, side by side, the economic progress, yes, of course. In one hand, we have to face all the problems, whether it is natural or man-made, whatever it is. And side by side, our economic progress should continue. That we can do it. We have proved it. Even when there was an economic recession all over the world, Bangladesh keep up the growth of GDP continuously. We ensure our food security. We reduce our poverty level. We have our social safety net program. So we are continuing the progress and we will do it. Thank you. আমাদের বাংলাদেশের যারা ছেলেমেয়েরা নিশ্চয়ই তাদের আরও ভালোভাবে বাংলাদেশ সম্পর্কে জানা উচিত যে আমরা কি কি কাজ করছি, কেমন কিভাবে করতে পারছি এবং আমরা যে পারি এবং বিশ্বের কাছে আমরা একটা দৃষ্টান্ত স্থাপন করেছি, সেটা নিশ্চয়ই আমাদের বাঙালি ছেলেমেয়েরা আরও ভালো করে জানার চেষ্টা করবে এবং সেটাও অন্যের কাছে যারা অন্তত ক্লাস ফ্রেন্ড আছে তাদেরকে সেই জিনিসটা জানানো উচিত যে বাংলাদেশ অসাধ্য সাধন করতে পারে। আমরা মুক্তিযুদ্ধ করে বিজয় অর্জন করা জাতি, আমরা বিজয়ী জাতি, আমরা মাথা উঁচু করে চলি, কারো কাছে মাথা নোয়াই না। আমরা পারি আমাদের দেশকে উন্নত করতে, গড়ে তুলতে এবং সেটা আমরা প্রমাণ করেছি। কাজে সেটাই বোধহয় সকলের কাছে তুলে ধরা উচিত। অন্তত আমাদের যারা বাঙালি ছেলেমেয়েরা এখানে আছে তাদের কাছে আমি সেটাই চাইব যে কারো কাছে হাত পেতে না, যা আছে আমার ততটুকু দিয়ে আমি নিজের দেশকে গড়ে তুলব, নিজের জাতিকে গড়ে তুলব। আর এই যে এত চমৎকার বড় একটা ইউনিভার্সিটিতে পড়ার সুযোগ পাওয়া, এটা তো সকলের কাছে হয় না, কতজনের ভাগ্যে হয়। কাজে এই সৌভাগ্যটা দেশের কাজে লাগাতে হবে এবং ভালোভাবে মন দিয়ে পড়াশোনা করতে হবে, যাতে আমরাও গর্বিত হতে পারি যে আমাদের ছেলেমেয়েরা এরকম বিদেশে পড়াশোনা করে ভালো রেজাল্ট করে দেশের মুখ উজ্জ্বল করছে। Okay. I said something to my own, community.
I didn't follow
I know you have 30
everything, but
students. You have 30 students, 30 Bengali, Bangladeshi students here, right?
Yes.
30 জন আছে না এখানে? কত?
All right, so we start here.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Madam Prime Minister. Camila Daria Rivera Vicherka. I'm studying at Columbia College, Political Science. Now, my question was more related to child labor in the country of Bangladesh. Especially in rural areas, child labor continues to be a major problem for the country of Bangladesh, rural areas and coastal areas as well, where children are taken away from education and put into these, conditions to support their family. And there's been many great advancements in Bangladesh when it comes to combating child labor, but it still continues to be a very large problem in these areas. I just want to know if there were any new initiatives that the government was taking in combating this very big problem in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question over here.
Namaskar. I'm from India, but I'm still Bangal, so.
হ্যাঁ বলেন।
I'm from the graduate program here at the engineering department. I just have one question. What is the biggest challenge that Bangladesh faces with respect to ensuring that the girl child is educated, if not fundamentalism? Because that is what you said has not been a challenge. Because if it's not fundamentalism, then what is?
Okay, next question.
Thank you very much for your speech. My name is Melody Brown. I work at the IRI, the International Research Institute on Climate and Society. I lived in Bangladesh for 3 years before moving to New York. My question has been mentioned very briefly earlier, but I would like some more explanation on it. Thank you for the emphasis that you put on girls' education. My question is, less than a year ago, you considered lowering the legal age of marriage for girls from 18 to 16. I would like to know if there's been an official statement on that, and what was the reason behind that, considering how much emphasis you put on girls' education. Dhanyabad.
Okay.
Well, the girls' education, big challenge, one question. Another one, is child labor, right? Well, child labor, actually, already we have taken many steps. We are, those who are left over or dropped out, we are bringing them in a mainstream. We have arranged for their education and also giving them training. So any child, they are in any, child labor, there are difference also. Some of them are very traditional one, their families program, so sometimes they join it, but those are not very dangerous one. But beside that, we make sure that they get the education. So we have separate, like non-formal education system also, just to educate them. And we have special project, it is going on. So that way we reduce the child labor and also giving them education and also side by side vocational training so that they can get job. And for girls' education, yes, it is itself is a challenge, no doubt about it. But what I mean to say that Bangladesh can face any challenge and Bangladesh can overcome it. Bangladesh is doing it. So education, it is very, very important. And as because we declared that we want to build up Bangladesh as a poverty-free country, but for building Bangladesh as a poverty-free country, education is the key. That's why we give all facilities for girls' education. So if any challenge comes, we will face that. We will face them. We are ready to do that. And then the last one, Kishiro?
Legal age? The legal age from...
Legal age, yes. Now, actually we have gone through the legal age law in all the country, USA, British and other country. So what we are going to do, we are follow that how they prepared their law and up to what age and everything. So it is not that, I don't know how it occurred to you that we wanted to reduce this and that. No, it is not true that we want to reduce. But what is suitable for our country and also in the international arena, I mean the developed country, what is their age limit, we will follow that. We are not doing anything different. So you have to be very practical. That is important. And what I said earlier, that if we give chance for education and job opportunity, automatically the age limit will be there. The girl or the family, they will not insist for early marriage. Rather, they will encourage their girls for education and for their earning. That is main thing. Imposing law will not solve every problem. Then sometimes they can, increase the age and get married and this and that. So we must be very careful about it so that they cannot do it. Already we are taking care of it.
Thank you. Next, please.
Namaskar Mashi, President Bollinger. কেমন আছো? আমিও একটা বাঙালির ছেলে।
আচ্ছা, খুব খুশি।
আর আমার নাম অঙ্কিত Bal. I'm a senior in Columbia College, and my question is, Bangladesh contributes more men proportionally than any other nation to the United Nations peacekeeping force. How do you envision a role for Bangladeshi women in the task of international arbitration and peacekeeping?
In peacekeeping, Bangladeshi women are working. Perhaps you know, we have a women police contingent. They are working in Congo. So we have already contributing. Our women are also contributing in peacekeeping. We want peace. We want a peaceful world. So for peace, wherever it needed, we will contribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Tasfiya Zaman, and I'm a business certification student here at Columbia. Thank you so much for coming to the World Leaders Forum here. I agree that Bangladesh has been making several steps, and in fact your administration has been making tremendous steps in making sure that Bangladesh reaches the Vision 2021 goals. And previously I worked with the Ministry of Youth and Sports with their policy research on the National Youth Policy, so I know how much work is being done. Thank you so much for making our country move forward this way. So my question is, in terms of, because there are so many young people, like in the rural areas, especially young women in the rural areas, what are your plans for the future in terms of improving their access to employment opportunities, and in fact high-income employment opportunities, in order to realize our Vision 2021 goals?
Thank you. Should we take...
Well, in my speech I already mentioned that we have established a digital center all over the country, especially in from grassroots level, in the union council, from union council to district level. So there, each and every digital center, the girl and boys both there can work. So that we create a job opportunity. In the primary education, the primary teacher, 60% should be women, the girls. They are getting job. The primary teacher we are appointing 60% reserved for girls. So that way we created job opportunity. Then we have established community clinic. Nearly more than 13,000 community clinic we have, and also the Union Healthcare Center, all together nearly 16,000. So everywhere girls are getting job opportunity. Besides that, there's SME Foundation providing money with a low rate interest. Then we have some more programs where girls always get priority. So that way we are encouraging girls that they should work. And during my first tenure, we introduced that in the local government, every local government election, like from union council to up to district level, each and every local government election, 30% quota ensured for women. So in a union council, there are one vice president must be women. So like each and every tier of the local government, the 30% quota is there. So that way, you know, in one hand we are helping them for access to education and also job opportunity. So that way we are trying. And I was surprised when I formed government, there was in the upper level, like in our armed forces, except the medical sector, there was no women access. So we ensured that. Now our Army, Air Force, Navy, everywhere, officer level, the women are getting opportunity. Then administration, there were no secretary level. Nobody get any promotion, especially women. But now I ensure that. In the higher court, like High Court, Supreme Court, Appellate Division, there were no women, judges. But during my first tenure, I ensured that yes, everywhere women should get the opportunity. So that way, we have created, and opened the door for the women. Now it is women's part how they will, utilize all this opportunity. We have opened the door, we have created the opportunity. Just we wanted to make sure that yes, each and every level our girls should get a chance. And in our parliament, I already mentioned the speaker, leader of the house, leader of the opposition, deputy leader, the four. I think in this world only one country we have. You can't set any example. And we ensure that. So our girls should be very encouraged. The world should be very encouraged. But actually, I am telling one thing. I know many countries, they are facing problem that girls cannot go to school or they cannot do job. But nowadays, our country, we brought the change. At first, yes, we face many problems. When I introduced that in the local government election, girls will contest. Well, from family level, from other, like Jamaat Islami and other parties, they oppose it. They try to prevent it. But when they found that now I am determined that they have to contest the election, so everything changed now. It is depend how you, encourage people and how you conduct it. And we did it. Thank you.
Madam Prime Minister, I'm getting very, very strong signals from your staff and colleagues that your schedule requires you to leave. I was going to say that we're going back to one question per answer. It was either that or admit that the Prime Minister trumps the President of the University, which I'm also prepared to say. But I want to thank you for coming and spending this time with us. We very much appreciate it and would welcome you back here in the World Leaders Forum or another context anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.